Welcome back.
To Marriage Beyond the Veil.
So for yesterday's post, we started with Before You Go by Louis Capaldi. And, you know, I guess the final thing that we left off with, what he was saying, was there something I could have said to make your heart beat better if only I had known you had storms to weather? And we talked about how everybody in relationships have storms individually as well as collectively. But then he goes on to say, was there something I could have said to make it all stop hurting? It kills me how your mind can make you feel so worthless. I mean, and think about that. Sometimes I guess people in a love relationship maybe don't help their loved one navigate because they're feeling worthless. Maybe they feel like they don't have anything to add. If that's the case, I suggest to you to still realize it's just the two of you in the relationship. So even if you're feeling worthless or you don't know what to do, make an effort to do something.
And then, so with that statement, he says, it kills me how your mind can make you feel so worthless. And that's on both sides.
Right.
That's on both sides.
I mean, when you're going through the storm, let's say I'm the one going through the storm and I may be feeling worthless, but if you're the one witnessing me going through the storm and you feel worthless, we both can't feel worthless. Someone has to rise to the occasion. And so if the one that you loved, if they're the one that's actually going through the storm, they're the one that's taking the lion's share of what's going on. If you're just the observer, then yeah, you really probably need to be the one to rise up. One of the things for you and I, the best part of our lives, because of the type of work we've done, we've been ships passing in the night a lot. And we've had to be intentional about spending quality time. But taking that analogy, being ships passing in the night, when a ship goes through the storm, it can become beaten, it can become weathered, it can become battered, but it's still carrying precious cargo. And you want that ship to be able to get back into the dock. So no matter what the condition of the ship is, the value of the cargo is still there.
That's right.
So was there, he goes on to say, was never the right time whenever you called, went little by little by little until there was nothing at all.
There it is.
Our every moment I start to replay, but all I can think about is seeing that look on your face. Was never the right time. So what becomes a priority in your relationship when you say it's never the right time?
Right.
But as he said, whenever you call, but little by little by little. Until there was nothing at all.
And unfortunately, that happens a lot in relationships when there is lack of communication, when there is an inability to see what the other is going through. And you're going through it, and you just continue to feel like, well, this person doesn't understand, they don't care, they're not seeing me, they're not hearing me, as if you're talking. And it chips away. And keep in mind, you're already feeling sort of worthless too.
Right.
It's not making it any better.
Then he goes back into the so before you go, was there something I could have said to make your heart beat better and all of that wonderful stuff. But the very final, I guess, bridge, he says, we would have been better off by now if I let my walls come down. Maybe, I guess we'll never know. Before you go. We would have been better off by now if I had let my walls come down. When we show up with our baggage, we do have walls erected. Some may have a fence, some may have a high fence, some have walls. Some have like the Great Wall of China.
Right.
The reality is, walls do two things. They can keep people in and they can keep people out.
Right.
And depending upon where you're standing on the side of your wall, we all need to let our inner Ronald Reagan, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall. You need to begin to tear down the walls. When you realize that there are walls in your relationship, regardless of why, how long they've been there, and how well they've been built, just a brick at a time.
Yeah. And you know where his walls came from? His baggage.
The baggage. Now,
there it is.
We show up with baggage from a myriad of relationships. They're not just the love relationships. They can be parent and child, sibling, any number of relationships. But when we get wounded, when we get hurt, and we don't deal with the things that have hurt us, we show up.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be the one saying, before you go, was there something? Because once someone gets to the point where they've had enough, there may not be another opportunity.
That's right.
So until tomorrow, if the Lord says the same,
have a good evening.
Before you go.